You are listening to the Beyond the Pain podcast, where Dr. Emil Tompkins and his guests guide you through the latest techniques to relieve your pain and learn how to fuel, move, and think for lifetime wellness.
Hopefully, you're not like me. But if you are, you just might be in trouble. You see, I tend to believe that I can exercise enough to make up for my lack of healthy eating. Now, don't get me wrong, I know what to do. I know how to eat well. Heck, I even teach others how to do things the right way. I can't believe I just said heck. Even right here on this podcast, I can honestly say about 99% of the time, that's probably not right. Maybe 85% of the time I do pretty well. But, guys, pretty well over the years can lead to a slow, progressive weight gain, a decline in energy levels, negative changes in sleep patterns, and before you know it, I'm wondering why I'm not achieving some of the health goals that I have for myself. Have you ever experienced anything like this? Have you gone through your life taking some steps to live healthy, but not all of them? Now, today I'm not going to spend any time trying to make you feel guilty over what you're doing or what you're not doing, but it's time to take a real look at the steps it takes to get really healthy. So today we're going to talk about an elimination diet. It's the way to begin your nutritional transformation by clearing your body of the things that are potentially toxic. It eliminates things that you might be allergic to, and in the process you eat healthier so that if you need to lose weight, that's just going to happen. You're exposed to toxins every single day. In fact, your body produces its own toxins, known as endogenous toxins found in the body, simply by normal functions. Your body also encounters toxins outside of the body. Those are called exogenous toxins. Endo is in, exo is out. Those are things like the air you breathe, the food you eat, the water you drink, the products you touch. Exposure to these toxins can overburden your system's natural ability to detoxify. If you have a problem with toxic load, then here's some things that you might experience: fatigue or difficulty sleeping, indigestion or other temporary GI upsets, food cravings, weight gain, reduced mental clarity, low libido, skin issues, joint pain. Who wants any of this stuff? I'm sure you don't. So take this journey I'm talking about right now. Take this journey that I am currently taking right now and consider an elimination diet. Now, full disclosure here, I'm a chiropractor. You already know this if you've been a part of this podcast for any period of time. I work with a number of different companies in our office, and one of the cleanses that I'm going to recommend and that we use in our office, and we do it because it's the best on the planet, it's Standard Process. This particular elimination diet is through Standard Process, and we've worked with this company for a number of years. And as far as I'm concerned, they provide the absolute highest quality of whole food supplements that you can get anywhere in the world. And that's why we work with them. Also, I just feel really good when I take their products. They're a company that you tend to have to work with directly or work directly with a doctor in order to get. Their products are really powerful. So even though they're whole food products, you still need to use them under a doctor's supervision. So whenever you choose to use them, you want your healthcare provider. I'm going to let you know about an opportunity that you have here today, and we can potentially work with you. But actually, you know what? Let's go over that now. In the show notes, I'm going to have a link so that you'd be able to order the cleanse. And this next part is really special. Along with that order will be a virtual consultation with me. So we can sit down, we can talk about the things that you're going through health-wise, so that we can make sure that this is something that's going to be right for you. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to go over just some of the basics on how to do an elimination diet. Because even if you decide not to use a product like what we have here with Standard Process, you're still going to be in at least decent shape by just changing your diet. It's just that some of the results that you see in 28 days during our complete cleanse, you may need to work up to 3 months to get there if we're just doing it by changing our food. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in. So here's how you do a typical elimination diet, and this is without the help of anything else, any other supplements or anything that helps to jumpstart your results. You're still going to see change. So you can walk away right now after this podcast and get started. Let's see here. So you're going to stop. Number one, stop eating all of the common allergen or sensitive foods from a specific low allergen food list for 3 to 4 weeks. Number two, during this time, you're going to carefully read food labels to make sure that you're really avoiding even trace amounts of these foods. That you may even want to consider keeping a food journal during these weeks to record how you were feeling, for this is going to come in really handy when you begin to reintroduce foods later on. Number 3, after 3 to 4 weeks, and we go for 28 days, so about 4 weeks, you're going to start reintroducing one food at a time and then one food group at a time every day. And you want to try to introduce those foods for the next 1 to 2 weeks. And you see how introducing those foods, introducing that food group works for you. And you'll notice if this is something that's a problem, because what tends to happen when there's a problem, your symptoms will return after beginning to eat one of the suspicious foods. So you can confirm that this food is a trigger by eliminating it once again. And the goal is to see if your symptoms clear up once again. If you realize that one of these foods is a problem, you really just have to get rid of it. It doesn't make any sense to keep eating it. And what happens is your body has this ability to adapt. It's what keeps us from dying when we take in things that are a problem. And so what'll happen is you'll take in a food that your body may be sensitive to. Right away, it's going to make you sick. But if you do it over and over and over again, you're going to feel less sick. You might be tempted to think that because you feel less sick, then things must be better. However, your body's just adapting to that allergen, that problem. Your body is over time becoming less and less healthy, even though you're not going to feel it nearly as much the longer you're on that bad food. That moment you identify that that problem is bad, you need to be done. You need to stop it. So you eliminate that food, those symptoms should disappear. 4 to 6 weeks of work on that. And you should pinpoint every food that's a problem. Finally, improving your symptoms for good. So now, let's talk about some of the foods that you want to make sure you're avoiding. Number 1, during this elimination diet, you want to make sure that you're avoiding gluten. I have a whole podcast on this subject, so check out the show notes for that one, that talks about the reasons why you want to avoid gluten. But that's definitely one you're going to need to avoid. So in anything with gluten or any kind of bread product, that sort of thing, you want out of there. The dairy, you want to avoid any kind of dairy products. Soy, corn, peanuts, citrus fruits, hydrogenated oils, added sugars, sometimes alcohol and caffeine. Now, some of these do not eat list items vary depending on the kind of elimination diet that you're using, but everything I mentioned are things that you want to definitely get rid of. Now, let's talk about some of the things that you want to add to your food list. Things that you maybe not are eating right now, but can have a huge impact on how you're feeling and your health. Bone broth, raw milk and cultured dairy, probiotics and fermented food, coconut products. Guys, coconut products can be used, especially coconut flour, can be used in place of gluten. Coconut flour is something that you see a lot in the paleo cookbooks and that sort of thing because it's a flour that works generally pretty well, but won't give you any of the same blood sugar, inflammatory, or cognitive deficit effects that happens when we're eating gluten. Leafy greens, safe, cruciferous vegetables, high-quality proteins, healthy fats, small amounts of fresh fruit. So, here's what your plate should look like. Guys, 30% of your plate should have clean sources of protein. 40% of your plate should have fresh vegetables. And I'm going to say at least 40% of your plate, 10% of whole food carbohydrates and fruit. Whole food carbohydrates are some kind of starchy vegetable or sweet potatoes or something safe like that. 20% of your plate should be healthy fats. So if you're drizzling olive oil on your salad or have some avocado with your meal, those are fats that are going to make you healthier. So now you have a list of foods. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another freebie on this podcast. It's our phase 1 food list. So go ahead and click on that. You'll get our phase 1 food list. So you get specific foods that are safe, a little more detailed list. Now, one of the reasons why I recommend and we use the standard process cleanse here is because along with the elimination diet, this particular cleanse allows our body to really clear any of these toxins. Here's how our body goes through. There's 3 specific phases of detoxification. There's phase 1, where your diet changes, you start eating less, your body starts binding those toxins that were present in your fat cells. Actually, it releases the toxins that were in your fat cells. So that's the first thing. So phase 1, the toxins are unlocked. Phase 2 is to neutralize that highly toxic substance that's produced in phase 1. Those converted non-toxic molecules become water soluble, and so you need very specific nutrients to get yourself from phase 1 to phase 2 of detoxification. In phase 2, those toxic substances convert to non-toxic molecules and become even more water soluble. Okay, we already talked about that, which is good. And then phase 3 is elimination. That is when the water soluble toxins leave the cells and the body eliminates them. One of the questions I get asked fairly often is, How about, I do one of those cleanses that I've seen on Pinterest or Facebook, or where someone drinks lemonade and hot sauce. I think it might be cayenne pepper actually, for 5 days, and I start to lose weight. Well, that's true. If you only drink lemonade and hot sauce or cayenne pepper, you probably are going to lose weight. However, what happens is that you only go through phase 1 of detoxification. So your body starts to release those toxins, but we don't actually turn it into the safer state, and our body doesn't bind and eliminate. So what happens, unfortunately, those toxins are unlocked, but you're going to be less healthy than you were potentially before the cleanse, because the toxins are now just flowing through your body. So if you're going to do an elimination diet and try to detox your body, you want to make sure that you go through all phases of detoxification. So the standard process products that we mentioned here, and there are a couple of other companies. I've used Metagenics over the years, and I feel really good about their Ultra Clear program. Actually, I think now it's called the Clear Change program. We've used them for a number of years, and they do a really good job. That's a 28-day protocol, and you do that, again, under the supervision of a doctor. But anyway, that's a good program. So the way this works for these 28 days, it's really easy. Depending on the day that you're on, you'll drink 1, 2, or 3 of these nutrient-packed shakes every day. You'll have a patient program guide that just guides you through that combination. And it's real simple. You just put the shake in water, you mix it up, and you enjoy. It just makes it real simple. Now, it's not officially a meal replacement shake. It simply provides the proper nutrients that takes you through that phase 1 through 3 of cleansing. But because it's so filling, which is awesome, it tends to replace some of the food that you naturally eat. So you take these shakes along with following the steps that I mentioned in the elimination diet, and just watch what happens. Just to give you an example, for me personally, in 1 week, I've managed to lose 6 pounds. My blood pressure has dropped 20 points, systolic and diastolic, and I'm noticing my energy is already starting to increase even without all the caffeine. Now, as we go through the next few weeks of podcasts, the podcast episode might not officially be talking about the cleanse, but I'm going to give us an update every week on how things are going, what we're noticing, and how this is affecting our health. We're actually doing it as a family. My wife is doing it with me. My oldest son and oldest daughter, my teenagers, are doing it with me. I probably won't have my preteens. They don't need to cleanse at this stage in their lives yet. However, it's something that we're seeing some really changes in our family. So click the link below to the show notes. You'll get a food list. You'll be directed to a place where you can get information on that cleanse that I was talking about. So you'll get personal time with me, products that are going to change your life. This product is going to make a huge difference in your health and how you're feeling, and your health is going to move in a really good direction. Also, guys, stay tuned. I mentioned before, stay tuned for the next few podcasts and get updates on how things are changing for us. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Emil Tompkins, and here at the Beyond Pain Relief Podcast, we are committed to making sure that not only are you going to feel better, but you're going to achieve your ultimate goals in health. Follow the steps that we talked about in the podcast. You'll lose weight, you'll feel less pain, you'll be less debilitated by stress, you'll get more sleep, your life will be better, and that's what I wish for you. Have a great rest of your day. And if you like this kind of content, leave us a rating and a review. If you just click on the bottom of that link, that podcast link there in iTunes, you can leave us a 5-star rating. We love 5-star ratings. If we don't deserve a 5-star rating, go ahead and just send me some comments and let us know what we can do to do better, because we are committed to providing you health content that's going to make a difference in your life. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Emil Tompkins. We'll see you soon.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Emil Tompkins. Many people fail to make a change in their health until things are drastic, until we've gone so far that it's so challenging to make that change, or we feel like it's almost too late, and then we're much more reluctant to make those changes in our health. This is a problem, and it needs to change. It needs to stop. When you find something that has an opportunity to make a difference in your health or in the health of someone around you, I invite you to take that opportunity to make that change for yourself or for someone you know. So I have a favor to ask of you. If you've listened to this podcast and you feel like there's something here that you think will benefit someone that you know, I invite you to share that podcast with them. There's a share link on the bottom of the screen. I want you to click that share button to share this with others. Give others the opportunity to experience the Beyond Pain Relief podcast. Share that with others. Make a difference in the health of someone around you. And I thank you so much for doing that. This is Dr. Emil Tompkins. Thank you for joining us on the Beyond Pain Relief podcast. And thank you for making a difference in the lives of the people around you. Have a great day.
You are listening to the Beyond the Pain podcast, where Dr. Emil Tompkins and his guest guide you through the latest techniques to relieve your pain and learn how to fuel, move, and think for lifetime wellness.